Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today, welcome back to another video. And well, today is a movie review, so continuing with my Superman marathon. Yeah. Nothing scam while they're trying to call me. There's somebody trying to get money from me. But anyway, continuing with my, as you guys can see me, sorry about that, my Superman marathon on my channel by reviewing the live-action Superman films, which was, last one was Superman for the Quest for Peace, so now we're getting to the 2006 superhero film that is directed by Bryan Singer and starring Brandon Routh as the title character, Superman, and that is, of course, Superman Returns. Now, I had to rebuy this movie, and I did watch it to prepare for this review, and I'll be honest, I've always been mixed on Superman Returns. I've just always been mixed on it. I got this movie on Christmas Eve, this case, even though I switched out the DVD, and it's better. Oh, by the way, I like this little slipcover, very nice poster of Superman flying through the earth, over the earth. Yeah, some cool items so you can give it a movie. Probably not anymore, but, you know, I got this movie on Christmas Eve back in 2006, and I remember just getting popcorn after that Christmas Eve night and coming back home to watch this movie at nighttime. So, and I will say it's mixed. In my opinion, it's still mixed, and what do I think of it now? I do remember the trailers for this movie, the posters. I remember going to a mall and seeing the poster of Superman and Lois, you know, like him flying here over the earth. That was a very cool poster. And the posters are very good for this movie, I'm not going to lie. Even this is a cool cover for the DVD. But in my opinion, to be honest, I don't like this movie. Now, I don't hate Superman Returns. It's not an awful movie by any means. But for me, it's a letdown of a movie. I think it could have been better. I know a lot of my friends, like John and Josh, they love this movie. They think it's underrated. They love it. And guys, that's cool. We agree to disagree on this film. But I don't hate this movie. This will be a review/rant. But I don't hate this movie completely. So, I just want to make that clear now. But anyway, let's get on to the review. Pretty much the history, though, with the development of, you know, this film. After, of course, the failure of the horrible, you know, film, Superman for the Quest for Peace, which came out in 1987. They've been trying to make a Superman film for years. Even Tim Burton tried to do a Superman movie, The Death of Superman, or Superman Lives, or something like that, which was supposed to come out in 1998. Some of it looked bizarre, but I would be interested to see that, but I could see, like, Tim Burton, for me, his thing was Batman, not Superman. But, you know, because he did direct Batman and Batman Returns, so he knows how to do a superhero film, because he's done it before. He was on board with Kevin Smith. I haven't seen that. I wasn't really too much interested in it. But it seems like Cass has Cage in the role. I'm like, no, I can't see Cage as Superman. I'm sorry. But that's just me. Even the suit did not look very good on him. But that's just me. I think so. That's just my opinion. But I can see why Warner Brothers scrapped it. And of course they scrapped it. And of course, until, you know, director and screenwriter producer Bryan Singer, who is a fan of Richard Donner. He loves Superman the movie. And this is also a sequel to Superman the movie, Superman 2. It avoids Superman 3 and 4, The Quest for Peace. I'm sorry, but I love Superman 3 more than this, but that's just me. And Superman 4, though, I will agree that this is way better than Superman 4. I will watch this over Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, any day. You know, despite my feelings about the movie, I don't hate it. I mean, you want to see an awful Superman movie, watch Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Yeah. But Bryan Singer, like I said, he directed the X-Men films and the X2, X-Men 9. Now, X-Men 3, The Last Stand, came out the same year, so he jumped ship to come and direct this movie. Superman returned to Earth after a 5-year absence, basically. During the filming of X2, he presented the idea to X-Men and X2 producer Laura Dern Turner and her husband Richard Donner, director of Superman. Donner agreed to Singer's idea with positive feedback. In March 2004, Warner Brothers Pictures was consuming pre-production on Superman Flyby, which had a target theatrical release date of June 2006. MCG was signed to direct with a script by J.J. Abrams, but dropped out in June 2004. That same month, sorry if I'm going way too fast, that same month, Singer was approached by Warner Brothers to pitch his idea for Superman Returns as he was preparing to leave for Hawaii on a short vacation with his X2 writers, Michael Dougherty and Dan Harris. While in Hawaii, Singer, Dougherty, and Harris began to outline the film treatment. In July 2004, Singer signed on to direct and developed Superman Returns. Although he was not a comic book fan, Singer was most impressed with Donner's 1978 film. He was not a comic book fan because he didn't even read when he did, direct the first X-Men movie, he wasn't a fan of that, but it took him time to get into the characters, and, he read the comics, and he directed X-Men and X2. I just wanted to mention that. With Singer's hiring, he dropped out of the X-Men Last Stand. Now, he did leave them a script, I heard, for, it was, I don't want to say his name, but the director of X-Men Last Stand and the writers of that movie, he left them a script for X-Men Last Stand, which I think he made a mistake by doing that, but that's just me. Superman Returns was financed 50-50 between Warner Bros. And Legendary Pictures, and pre-production began in November 2004. By February 2005, they had written 6 drafts of the script. Early versions of the script contained references to the September 11th attacks before they were removed. Casting director Singer believed that an unknown actor should be suitable for the part of Superman. Brandon Routh was chosen from dozens of candidates interviewed as casting calls in the United States, in the UK, Canada, and Australia. He had constantly auditioned for Clark Kent in the television series Smallville. I didn't know that, but lost to Tom Welling. Ruth had also met director Joseph M.G. Nichol for the role during pre-production. Diana Reeve, or Chris Reeve, believed Ruth's physical resemblance to her late husband was striking. To obtain the muscular physique to play Superman, Ruth underwent a strict bodybuilding exercise routine, I guess you can say. He did a lot of exercising for the role. And you can tell he got in shape for this movie. Prior to Russ casting, Singer had X2 actor Daniel Cunmore audition. Kevin Spacey was the only actor considered for Lex Luthor because of his Oscar-winning performance and Singer's for the usual suspects. The only villains I know that he's played, well, the only ones that I know of, is where he voiced Hopper and Disney Pixar's films A Bug's Life. The writers specifically had Spacey in mind for the part when writing the script. For the part of what was playing, Spacey recommended Kate Bosworth to Singer for the role, because she had co-starred with Spacey in Beyond the Sea as Sandra Dee. Chloe Dance and Carrie Russell were reportedly also considered. Amy Adams, who will later be cast as Lois Lane in 2013, and Man of Steel, confirmed that she had auditioned for the role of Lois in 2005. Adams had previously auditioned for Lois in 2013 when Britt Ratner was planning to direct Superman Flyboy. Okay, yeah, it was Britt Ratner, director of X-Men Last Stand, I'm sorry. Forgot his name. Hubert Ray was recast as Perry Wright, but he was unable to film due to commitments to the TV show House. The part went to Frank Ligney. I think Frank Ligney also was the guy that... I know he was on Unknown with Liam Neeson, probably a lot of other movies too, but in Small Soldiers, I think he voiced Archer in that movie. Parker Posey was the only actress considered for the role of Kitty. I remember her from Scream 3, which I like Scream 3. I liked her in that movie. Production, Warner Brothers Pictures considered shooting Superman Returns at Warner Studios in Australia, but after filming, this could have been used as a distraction for the Warner Brothers movie world. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm going too fast here. Principal photography started in late 2005, lasted until November. They filmed Superman Returns in New South Wales, hiring thousands of local workers, generating over $100 million in the local economy to build some sets for the movie. You had a digital reaction of Marlon Brando in the film as Jor-El, which that was nice to kind of see Brando back, but it was just digital. Warner Brothers hired Mark Stevenson from Sony Pictures Imaginations as a visual effects supervisor to do the effects for the movie. A total of 1,004 visual effects shots was created for Superman Returns. The basketball park scene. And the opening credits of the movie are John Williams' theme. The music scores by John Ottoman, and he uses some of, the John Williams score. We know that Superman, da 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 da. I'll get to that later. Yeah. In the film, anyway. Cast of the movie is wait a minute. Warner Brothers promoted Superman Returns at San Diego Comic-Con International. The video diaries on the internet were released at bluetights.net. I just remember the marketing from the posters and the trailers for this movie. That's what I remember. And the film, of course, got a canceled sequel. But Brandon Routh, did go on to play Superman again in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was in 2019 in the Arrowverse. So he got to explore the role as Clark Kent. And he also went to play another superhero, which was Ray Palmer, the Atom, in the Arrowverse, which he started that role, I think, in Arrow Season 3. So, and the cast of the movie, of course, is Brandon Routh as Clark Kent Superman, Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane, James Marsden as Richard White. Now, James Marsden jumped ship too to be in this movie. I guess he got casted because of, you know, yeah, just because, you know, he worked with Singer in the X-Men movies. He played Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, in that movie. Fred Linnea as Perry White, Eva Maria Saint as Martha Kent, Parker Posey as Kitty, Cal Penn, if you remember Cal Penn, I remember him in the Harold and Kumar movies, you know, and Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor, and Sam Hamilton as Jimmy Olsen. Burner did pass in 2004, but I guess they kind of digitalized CGI on him, and I guess used his voice and stuff. But they did a good job of doing that, of paying respect to Brando in this movie. Superman Returns also had a video game, which I used to have the game. It was on Nintendo DS, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360. Yeah, in the game, of course, it's basically the same plot of the movie. Yeah, let me show you a little picture of the game right there. I used to have it on PS2. But from what I remember, you know, it's the same plot. What I remember is, you know, there was asteroids, you know, coming down to Earth that could destroy Metropolis, and Superman has to fly up there, uses heat vision and freeze breath to destroy it. And I remember that was difficult, and then going on, you know, they have other villains in the game like Mongol, I think his name is Mr. Mispilic, I can't say his name right, and they have Metallo, and of course Lex Luthor. So you use all Superman's power, his super strength, you can fly, you can even super speed in the game. And heat vision, super breath, freeze breath. And you can upgrade his powers by making him stronger and stuff. And you can, you know. You can be creative with Superman's powers to stop a burning building, like using freeze breath to do that. I mean, not freeze breath, super breath. Yeah. And you can also fly really fast in the game. That's what I remember of it. Like you said, you have Mongol, you have Metallo, Mr. Mispilic, Lex Luthor. Riot? I don't know if I ever heard of that going. Yeah. One day I'll like to get the game again, though. I love the game more than the movie, but that's just me. Alright. 13 minutes. Okay, not too bad. Alright. Okay. Pretty much the plot synopsis of what this movie is, of what Superman Returns is about, is while Lex Luthor plots to destroy him once and for all, the Man of Steel returns after a long absence at 5 years, basically, to a much changed world. Lois Lane has moved on with her life, and society has learned to survive without him. Superman must find a way to reconnect with her and find his place in a world that may no longer need him. So, yeah. Basically, it's about Superman leaving Earth for 5 years and coming back. I'll get more into that in the plot. That's the plot synopsis for the movie. Okay. And like I said, this is a sequel to Superman the movie and Superman 2, as Bryan Singer says it is. You know, I like the scene right here. The scene where he's in the cornfields and using his powers. I'll get to all that. Alright, we're in 14 minutes. Hope you guys can see me again. I know the audio sucks, show. I understand. I don't like my audio either, but hopefully one day I can afford enough money, get enough money to sorry, to afford, a better webcam that has more better audio on it for me. But let's get into Superman Returns, shall we? Pretty much the film, opens with the Superman, with the titles reveal that, letting you know that, of course, Superman came to Earth, Krypton, if you know the character, that he came to Earth, but Krypton was destroyed. He grew up and he had these powers, and of course he became Superman. And during that time, but over the course of history, he learns that astronauts or scientists have said that Krypton has been found again, or something like Krypton might be alive, pieces of it might be there might be a civilization still there, so Superman wants to go see this, and he leaves Earth for 5 years. Yeah. And then of course you get the opening credits, which it is so great to hear John Williams go. I remember the first time hearing it, it still gets me excited, it gives me the chills, really good opening credits, I give him credit for that, it was really great, it's just that theme really just fits the character for Superman. That's just his theme that really fits the character in my opinion. Yeah. But we also, after the opening credits, you see Lex Luthor, of course in the wig. Sorry, it's just the wind up there. Scheming, or basically scamming this old lady. I think this actress might have been... Oh, you also have Jack Larson in this movie, who was in the George Reeves show. Then no one knew who played Lois Lane in the television series, in the film series, in the film Zero Superman, and Iron Man, which I've never seen those. Okay, yeah. Luthor, of course, has an elderly wife, or whatever you say in this movie, like I said, right after the opening credits. And basically, she thinks Lex is a changed man. Of course, Lex Luthor is good at fooling people. She pretty much signs over her death warrant to him. She dies, and of course Lex gets her estate, and then he comes out, these people are like, no, he's a monster, and Lex comes out and they look at him, and he's like, takes his wig off and gives it to this little girl, and he's like, y'all can keep that, but the rest belongs to me, and just walks out with his assistant Kitty, and they walk out the door, and this girl's like, looking at his wig, which I thought that was funny. And meanwhile, Martha Kent, who was at her home, sees like a spaceship fly down to Earth, crashing on her land, and of course she drives next to it, the crop field. And of course it's Clark. She's like, oh Clark, my baby, hugging him as he's just tired and out of it. Yeah. I also like that there was a scene where Lex Luthor was talking to Kitty about, what his plans are to do, how he's going to kind of like rule the world, with getting real estate. Pretty much what Lex wants to do in this movie, what Lex Luthor wants to do with his plan is, of course, kill billions of people, but in order to do that, he wants to build this land, this kind of, it's like he wants to make a land out of Krypton, and, in a way, but it will have the whole United States underwater, and it'll kill billions of people. So he can make a big fortune out of it. Probably he wants to be the most successful man, kind of like a god, he says, but, he just wants to give fire to the people, as he tells Kitty. And they go to, of course, the Forces of Society, which, that does confuse me, though, because if we're going from the Richard, I don't know which part Singer's going to for the original, the Lester cut, or the Donner cut, but the Donner cut, Superman destroyed the Forces of Society, so I'm like, okay, is he going off that then? Probably is. That's my bet. And I'm like, what's the point of having that there if Superman destroyed the Donner cut version? I just don't get it. But maybe just for a bit of nostalgia there for folks. And of course, the Forces of Solitude. Of course, with the crystals there, Lex is able to talk to Jor-El, who thinks that he's, of course, Kal-El. Superman's Kryptonian name. You know, he's like, speak. And he's like, tell me everything, Father, starting with crystals. Clark, meanwhile, is sitting at home, seeing how the world is without him. He's like, tells Martha Kent, you know, it's like, it's okay, I buried the ship. No one saw it. He's like, and she starts crying, like, if your father was here, he'd never let you go. He's like, it's okay, Mom, I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. She's like, well, did you find what you were looking for, Clark? And he's like, the astronomer said that they were there, and I looked, and I couldn't find, there was nobody there. That place is, he tells his mother, the place was nothing but a graveyard. So, of course, he goes back to work as Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. Kind of says, everybody says hi to Jimmy. The actor plays Jimmy, again, he does a really good job. I think he's funny. He's like, hi, Mr. Kent, how you doing? You know, gives him a hug. He's like, hey, Jimmy, how you doing? You know, trying to ask people where to go. And he's like, oh, where's Lois? And he doesn't tell him. Clark goes, hides his bags in the Daily Planet room or something like that. But after that, he looks at Lois's desk and sees that she wrote a new article she has called that she wanted to prove a surprise for why the world doesn't need Superman. Basically, she writes an article because she's angry at him, and she's pretty much on an airplane. You know, they're of course making, I guess you can say, history by having a shuttle connected to an airplane, and they're going to fly up to space. And it's a big news story. Of course, he sees Lois on there, and he's just smiling, happy to see her. And of course, he realizes that she of course has moved on. She's with Richard White, who was Perry White's nephew in this movie. That their relationship with her, and they also have a son, but she's not married to this guy, but she's just in a relationship. And I like it when he looks at the picture and he just kind of cracks it. He's like, oh, Jimmy's like, oh, you know, well, she has plenty more of that. He's like, come on, Clark, let's just go for a drink. They start to go for a drink, and they just have a talk. And Jack Larson is there. That's Jimmy Olsen from the 50s show. It's like, it must be tough to coming back. So tough, yeah, coming back is tough. Things change. Like Willis falling in love with the new man, and Jimmy's like, well, you know something, but he asked me, she's not going to tell you anything. But you know what? If you ask me, she's still in love with you. You know who we are. He literally says that twice, which is funny. And meanwhile, Lex and his crew go to the estate with the crystal, what they're going to do with it. They start it up or whatever, something like that. He experiments with like a fragment of the crystal, and it's like he can see what it will do to Metropolis, and the fragment, you know, it causes a blackout, and of course the Lois Lane that she's on the shuttle, it causes this huge blackout, and all over Metropolis too. And they see on TV that the plane is falling down, so of course Clark having to come back as Superman. This is where you get this scene. I think this was basically a reference to Superman the movie. That's homage to Superman the movie, where Clark goes running out, does this, you know, takes the shirt off, you know, and starts flying up to there, and Lois sees him as they're falling. And Superman is able to get the shuttle first and get it off the plane and take it. As he sees the plane falling, Superman sees it, falls right down fast as he can to get it. He tries to grab the wing of the plane, but the wing destroys, and he has to fly around it. You know, as he's doing in the scene, as with the planes falling, he's able to get the front of the plane. You know, stop it. You know, from coming, just get it. You know. And it falls on the baseball field, and he puts it down safe. He's like, everyone okay? And then Lois looks at him, just stands up and like, doesn't really talk to her. He just says, everything okay? You okay? As he looks at her. He's like, well, tell me, I hope this doesn't put you off flying. Flying is still the safest way to travel. He's like, bye. And Superman kind of smiles, and everybody's clapping and cheering. But one issue I have with this scene, though, is why Superman is not waving at people. I'll get to more of my issues after the movie, but after I talk about it. But Superman not waving to people, I was like, I didn't like that. I'm like, he should at least be waving or shaking somebody's hand, you know. But that's just me saying that. But because of the blackout, Lex Luthor sees that his plan will eventually work, and so has to, of course, proceed with it. Lois isn't happy. I'd say, but Lois is kind of a bitch in this movie, because she's mad at Superman, and well, she's nice to Clark, of course, happy to see Clark again, and he meets her son, her kid, which I forget what the little boy's name was. It's like, who are you? It's like, you mean my mommy? She never mentioned you. Oh, really? She never did mention you? Even the fiance says that too, or says that, Jimmy talks about him all the time, and Chloe's like, oh, okay. I think the little boy might have known, because when you see pictures of Superman while they're watching him on TV, it's like, the little boy might know he's Superman, even though he's just like, give him a smile. Of course, still having to put on the act of being clumsy and stuff. Yeah. Superman goes to fly that night, and for some reason he decides to eavesdrop. One thing I don't like is that he's eavesdropping on conversation, which I think is rude for Superman just to do that. He goes to Lois and Richard's apartment, kind of just watches them with his X-ray vision, and hears that, and James, Richard's saying, well, are you still in love with him? He's like, no, I don't love Superman anymore, I don't love him. And of course it's a lie, but I'm like, really? And him watching them is like, I don't like Superman doing that, because to me it's like he's stalking her. I'm like, him using his X-ray vision and using his superhearing to watch people is kind of creepy and, kind of stalking. I'm like, you shouldn't use his powers for that. And he's upset, so he flies to death. He hears Jor-El's voice, like the dialogue kind of like from the first movie. And you see him just in the earth, and John Armand has a good soundtrack of him. He's just closing his eyes, like he can hear the whole world, as he's over the earth. Basically, a bank heist happens, and this guy's got a big machine gun, so he's shooting at the cops. And these other two cops try to stop him. They shoot at the guy, but I guess he's got armor, so they don't hurt him. Body armor. And of course he turns around with the machine gun, is going to shoot at them, and then Superman flies, which I thought the same was cool. Superman flies and stops right there, and of course those cannot affect Superman because he's the Man of Steel. And Superman is just walking. And the guy runs out of the bullet, so he starts to pick up his pistol and shoots Superman in the eye, in the face, and of course the bullet just hits Superman in the eye, and he's like, he goes up, and Superman's like, got you now. And pretty much, Kitty, who is, of course, Luthor's lady, or, co-conspirator or whatever, her core is going crazy, the brakes aren't working. Pretty much it's a distraction for Superman, so Luthor steals kryptonite from his museum in order to make his crystal plan work. So he has a report that's distracting. He had to make it look real, and he saves Kitty. And she's like, sir, I'm sorry, I'm hurting my feeling. Superman's like, I'm sorry, I need to go to the hospital. Like, okay, I'll take you to the hospital. She tells him her name is Catherine, and she's like, Catherine, good night. Perry White wants to, of course, call Superman Returns, make a big story out of it. He wants, of course, Lois to do it, but Lois wants to focus on the blackout, but instead he gives it to Clark Kent. Clark also finds out whether that Lex Luthor was like, he asked that his in prison was like, he's like, Jimmy, why isn't Lex Luthor in prison? Well, Lex Luthor had a trial when Superman was supposed to testify, and he wasn't there, so without a witness, Superman, without being there, he was set free from prison. It's like, oh no, I made a mistake, kind of look. She's mad about it. They decide to have Jimmy, Clark, and of course Richard and Lois decide to stay at the office and work on the blackout together. And of course Lois decides to go have a smoke. And again, she goes up the elevator. The only thing I didn't like is, again, Clark using his X-ray vision to watch her, and he's just kind of like looking at her. I'm like, kind of like a stalker, I mean, that is kind of creepy just to do that. Using his powers to watch a woman like that. Makes him look like a stalker, too. But that's just my opinion. She starts to smoke, and, Superman takes her for a flight and apologizes, like, Lois, I'm sorry I left you. I'm sorry. But I just had to go see for myself. And he takes her for a fly, of course, which is decent. Superman in the movie just did that way better. I'm like, yeah, you can't really top that. And it's fine. It's alright. They're not really smiling or anything. I thought it was pretty bland, to be honest. No really much smiles on their faces except bland flying and just trying to recapture the first movie, which I felt Bryan Singer was trying to do in that scene. I'm like, no, can't recapture that. She tries to talk to Clark. Richard, she's like, hey, were you smoking up there? Because Lois has a bad habit of smoking cigarettes or a smoking habit. He's like, no, I wasn't smoking. Of course, she wasn't. And Lois goes back to focusing on the blackout, finds out where it was caused, and of course has to go pick up her son. Yeah. She's going to go interview some people at this island or this estate where, of course, Luthor is, but they're on the yacht, whatever you call it, ship or whatever. And they sneak on there, and of course, she realizes, her son seeing Wiggs, and she mentions that probably Lex Luthor wants to show together. She runs into Lex, and so they decide to keep them. They pretty much decide to hold them hostage. And Luthor reveals his scheme, basically using the stolen Kryptonian crystals to build a landmass, pretty much to destroy half the United States and to kill billions. And he's like, the United States is not going to let you just do this. Of course, people want to do this to me. Bring it on! He's being... I thought Kevin Spacey was good as us, but in this thing, he's just completely over the top. He's like, no, billions will die. He's like, you want to tell me what's wrong with me? Oh, you're insane. Not that. The other one, Superman will, wrong! I'm like, okay. It sounds like he would... That was really just silly and over the top. He's just... Again, Kevin Spacey is good in this movie, but I felt like he was just trying to imitate Gene Hackman a lot in this film. And of course, she's like, Superman would never let you do that. And he's like, well, you know what? Who's that boy's father? Jason. And of course, I'm going to spoil it, it's Superman's son, because if you remember Superman 2, whether you watch Let's Go or Darka, whatever, that her and Superman, of course, when he went back to being human, they did this, had sex, so apparently, that came out, little baby boy, Superboy, so that came out of her, and of course, since she doesn't remember because he magic kissed her, so she doesn't remember the Clark Kent Superman, But anyway, the reason I say that is because when Lex and his Kitty and his henchmen start their plan, when he puts the crystal in the kryptonite and they shoot a missile into it, they make it a missile and they shoot it out, it starts making the Kryptonian world that he wants underneath the water, underneath the sea, and pretty much Lois, sends out for an SOS on the paper, in the printer, sends it to the Daily Planet. One of the Losers henchmen who was watching her sees her do this, and kind of hits Lois. He's nearly about to kill her, but of course, her son, we don't see it, but pushes the piano there. And he doesn't need this inhaler anymore. So of course you can tell that he's Superman's son. Then they take her on Lois and Clark. They take Lois and her son to another part of the ship to lock them up. And they tell Lex about it. Lex is like, bring that kid to me. Before they do that, they decide to leave. Start going to the new continent that he's built. And he leaves Lois and her son there. And of course, Clark, Jimmy, and them, they find out where Richard and Clark find out about the signal and where Lois is at. And he starts to go save them, so Clark starts to go again as Superman. I like the scene when he goes in the elevator, flies right off. I forgot to mention though, you don't really see him saving people. Not at the start of it, You just see it on the news and stuff. I don't really see Superman save people. Not on the TV, but in the movie. I don't see him save people in the movie. not on a TV screen in the movie. But anyway, he goes back, he flies, and he's about to head to where he's, fly to the continent, to go to find that yacht. But then Superman sees that there's, he sees the rocks, the crystals, the Kryptonian rocks building under the sea, and it's going for the city. He kind of just looks there and then looks back. And one thing I like about that, though, is it's like he's hesitating to go save these people. I'm like, really? No, look, if people aren't dangerous, Superman's going to go save them right away. But of course he does. He goes start saving people. He uses heat vision to stop some of the blast from stopping. He catches a guy from falling. He uses a super breath. It's about to start a fire underneath the sewer. So Superman, of course, uses a super breath. And of course, stops a piece of a building from falling, and of course he also catches the Daily Planet, which was cool. I like that scene where he catches the Daily Planet and puts it down. And I like it when Harry White is there, he's like, Great Caesar's ghost. And of course he goes continue to fly there, and Richard arrives to save Lois and Jason, her son Jason, and they're trying to get out of the ship, but the ship is falling apart due to the kryptonite rocks building. It hits the ship. They don't die, they're just the ship apart, and they're trying to get out of there. They're nearly going to drown under the water. Lois kind of gets knocked out, gets her head hit, and so Superman, of course, grabs it on time, picks up, is like, "Do you got them?" And then, of course, drops the ship and has them and takes them back to their seaplane and tells them, "I gotta go." And Superman flies to go stop Lex Luthor. Just goes to fly, and then he has that cool drop in, and he sees Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is like, "You have something in mind." And of course there's kryptonite under the ground, so Superman is green kryptonite, so Superman of course is weak. And this was painful to watch where he punches Superman falls, and he's like, "Kryptonite!" And he kicks him, he's like, you ruined 5 years of my life, and starts kicking and punching Superman, and then of course all his 3 henchmen start beating up Superman. This was just painful to watch. Even worse, this to me was like watching Batman getting his ass kicked by Bane in Dark Knight Rises. It was just painful to watch. Or, Captain America in the 1990 film getting his ass beat by Red Skull. I'm like, oh. It's just painful to watch those kind of things, when the superheroes go through that. I'm like, and then Superman, of course, the final thing is after they beat him up a bit, Lex gets a piece of kryptonite, like a knife, and he's like, "Fly now." Then he stabs Superman. Superman's like, "Ah!" And Superman gets up and falls from the cliff. He's like, "Goodbye, Superman." And Superman's on the water. You can hear Jor-El's voice. Lois wakes up from her coma. From her headache. Wakes up from passing out. She wakes up, says, "Jason, we gotta go back and save him." So they do. And as they're flying, she gets the kryptonite out of his stomach. Gets that out of it. He's like, "Lois, I gotta go back. I gotta stop him." He's like, "You're hurt, you don't know." He's like, "No, Lois, I gotta go. Goodbye, Lois," and then flies away. And of course he has to fly the rock out of there, which I guess this rock connects to all of it. Somehow, Lex Luthor, and his men decide they have to run out of there because the world starts collapsing. Lex's men are killed, but him and Kitty get away, and she throws the crystals away, which she can't use no more. She's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, I'm sorry. She's too much of a crybaby woman. She's wanted to let Superman get killed, and even though they're beating up Superman, she's like, "Stop!" I'm like, she's basically just Miss Tessmacher, basically. That's how I describe her character, just Miss Tessmacher. Eve Tessmacher. Sorry. But Superman picks up the rock, flies it to the Earth, and gets away from the Earth, and so all the kryptonite in it aching at him, and then of course Superman falls, and of course crash lands on the earth. His body does. The ambulance gets him, and they take him to the hospital. They try to surgery him. They try to give Superman a needle, but it doesn't work. But he ends up being okay. They don't know. Perry White has 2 articles: Superman dead or Superman lives. He says, gotta be prepared. And of course Superman's fine. Lois and Jason come to see him. I guess she tells Superman in his ear that she loves him still, and gives him a kiss while he's in the hospital bed. And of course Dr. tries to check on Superman, and he's fine. He flies away. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor, though, of course, loses, and Kitty and him end up remaining stranded on an island. And they have no gas because the airplane ran out of gas. The helicopter ran out of gas. They end up stranded on there. It's like, well, Lex, what are we going to eat? And he's looking at the dog. I'm like, okay, really? But when Superman throws the landmass into space, like I said, did weaken him, but he ends up being okay later. He ends up flying out of there, and he knows that Jason is his son. He goes to repeat, what, Superman in the movie, what Jor-El said to him. The father becomes the son, and the son becomes the father, or something like that. That great speech, which was good to listen to. And then he, flies away. But it doesn't make Superman look like a deadbeat dad, though. But anyway, he's like, I'll always be around, Lois. I'm like, you sure about that? And I'm just kidding. She's like, bye. And then, of course, Superman flies away. And Lois starts writing a new article called Why the World Needs Superman. And of course, we have Superman flying at the end from space, over the planet that he's still going to protect. And that's the ending of the movie. So, that is Superman Returns. Yeah. I'm going to give my final opinion on the movie. I know we're in 42 minutes in. Okay. To give my final opinion on Superman Returns, well, again, in my opinion, I just don't like this movie. Now, it is not an awful movie. No, it's not awful. It is still better than Superman 4, but I say I still like Superman 3 more than this. Yeah, I'll say it. I like Superman 3. I love Superman 3. To me, it's underrated. To me, it's more fun to watch than this, and it tries something different, unlike this film. For me, well, before I get to it, though, what do I like about this movie? Well, I like Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. Even though there are times that he's, imitating Gene Hackman, I still think he did a good job. And I like Jimmy Olsen in this film. Parker Posey was good, I thought. Frank Legum as Perry White. And Sam Hamilton, he did a great job as Jimmy Olsen. I really do give him credit. I thought he did a good job. He was funny. He was hilarious. We do get to see him take some pictures in the movie a little bit, where he's taking pictures of Superman dropping catching the Kryptonite globe, which is cool. And he was good. I do like the special effects. I do like the airplane scene, where Superman has to save the plane. A nice homage to Superman in the movie, which is fine. Some of the effects are really good. I like the way the underwater landmass of the Kryptonian rocks look, and the way it's built. It looks very nice. Some of it does look bleak and pretty bland in areas of the effects, but the rest of the effects are good. Especially when Superman's flying, you can tell it's like a CGI face, some CGI does not hold him. Oh, I forgot to mention on the forum, when Clark is, back on the forum, I did like the scene where he remembered that he was a kid and he's running through the cornfields and jumping and flying, and eventually jumps too much and kind of falls over, and but he's standing and he's flying. I like that scene. I also like the scene where he threw this baseball for the dog to go get it, and the dog can't go get it, so the dog's like, which is funny. And there were certain humorous moments in the movie. In the movie, I do think it's a bit too long and the pacing drags, but, I do think that the pacing was an issue. There's very little stuff I liked about the movie. The music scores are on, and it is great to hear John Williams score. To me, that's the best thing about this movie, is the score. The film score, I think, is really great. Bryan Singer, I don't think he was the right guy to do Superman. In my opinion, he was just trying to relive the past. For me, in my opinion, y'all, this is just my opinion, mine alone. For me, this is just trying to be another Richard Donner Superman film. He's basically trying to be a Richard Donner Superman film. And that's, to me, I would not say it's one of the worst superhero movies ever made, but I will say it's one of the superhero movies, in my opinion, that is a failed attempt. In my opinion. Well, some of it is interesting to watch, this Kevin Spacey, he's very fun and entertaining to watch, even though he can be over the top sometimes and beat Gene Hackman a bit. I still get, a little bit of entertainment out of it. Like I said, with the machine gun scene, with the guy shooting him, that scene was entertaining, and the saving the airplane scene. I do think it's a lackluster film. Now, no problems. Brandon Routh, he does look the part, and the suit looks awesome. Yeah, the suit. Sorry. Yeah, the Superman suit. He definitely. Let me pull the DVD out and show you guys. He definitely looks the part of Superman. I will admit that. He does look the part. The suit looks good. But to me, he is just too much like Christopher Reeve. I don't think he captured the spirit of Reeve's well, in my opinion. In my opinion, Tom Welling did a better job. I'm glad Smallville cast Tom Welling because, in my opinion, he would be a better Clark Kent, a better Superman than Brandon Routh. To me, he captured the spirit of Christopher Reeve, and Christopher Reeve was also in Smallville Season 2, so it was like passing the torch over to Tom Welling. Tom Welling, to me, is better. He's more like Christopher Reeve than he is. To me, Brandon Routh is just a copycat, in my opinion, of Christopher Reeve. It's like they're just trying to relive the past a little bit with this movie, with some homages, which is nice, but I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. Like Superman and Lois flying, I'm like, I've seen it before, but it was very bland in this movie. It wasn't horrible to look at like Superman 4, no, that was awful. But, yeah, and some of the movie is just boring. It's just 154 minutes long. For me, this film just felt way too long, and it drags in some parts. In the areas of it drags, and gets very boring to watch. I just get bored with it. Kate Bosworth, I don't like Lois Lane. To me, she's the worst actress to play Lois Lane. I'm sorry. Not only does she have a big forehead, but I don't know. She just came off as a bitch and just pretty bland and very boring as Lois Lane. I'm like, I'm sorry. She's just not an actress I'm not a fan of. I'm sorry. I've never been a fan of her. James Watson, I think he does a good job in here. Friendly girl, even when he's saying as Martha Kent for her Smallville, and Parker Posey, Cal Penn, and Sam Huntington, the rest of them are good, and so is Kevin Spacey. It's just the other two, Superman and Lois, I didn't like their characters. Just to me, again, he looks the part, and the suit looks cool, but to me, it's just too much of Christopher Reeve. It's too much of a copycat of Christopher Reeve, in my opinion. Yeah, and I just don't need another Richard Donner Superman film. That's why I think this film, it's not one of the worst Superman films ever made. Again, I'll say it, it's just a failed attempt, Case in point, there never was a sequel. And my other problems with Superman in this movie, my problems with Superman in the film is that leaving Earth for 5 years to see Krypton again, to go see Krypton, I'm like, Superman to me would never do that. I'm sorry, he sounded very selfish. I'm not selfish for doing that, yeah. Krypton blew up. Okay, Superman the movie, did you watch that, Bryan Singer? It blew up. Krypton blew up. It's gone. It went into pieces. People died. Apparently he didn't watch Superman the movie. Well, he must have not watched it because Superman going back to Krypton for 5 years, I'm sorry, that makes Superman look selfish, and I'm like, really? He had to learn better that Krypton is gone. It blew up. It's gone. And also Superman, he's traveling on conversations and using his X-ray vision to watch Lois, and I'm sorry, just like he's stalking Lois Lane, and also he's a deadbeat dad, leaving his son for 5 years and Lois to raise him and not doing nothing. I'm like, it makes Superman look like an asshole. I'm sorry. This film makes him out to look like an asshole. And a deadbeat father, a stalker, and somebody who just eavesdrops on somebody's conversations, and half the time it feels like Superman doesn't like saving people. It's just, he doesn't come off. Why can't you just save a cat from a tree in a tree? Superman in the movie, Christopher Reeve did that, and guess what? He would talk to people who say, "Hey, doing? You little kitten, or say hi, how are you?" He'd be nice and then fly away. He wouldn't be like, and then just fly off. He would come out first with his friend. This Superman, and even what bothered me the most was him hesitating to go save people. Yeah, he saves people from, the landmass, the landmass, Kryptonian landmass going crazy and about to kill Metropolis, but he hesitated. I'm like, really? Superman would never do that. Just to me, he would never do that. And he would never leave Earth for 5 years to go find Krypton. I mean, to me, that is not Superman. I mean, yeah, I do have an issue with that. Superman wouldn't do that. And plus, he's an idiot. I think they made him look like a moron, too, because Superman could have seen, he could see through dirt. He didn't have to fly down there. He would have been fine. If he would have stayed on the air, stayed afloat from the air, he would have been fine, able to take Lex down easily. But of course, we had to have a stupid drama scene. I didn't like it. Superman getting it was just painful. I hated seeing Superman get stabbed. I'm like, to me, that was like a middle finger to me as a Superman fan. I'm like, really? Ryan Singer? Really? I don't want to see Superman get stabbed by kryptonite like that. The original Superman movie, he didn't know. He didn't know Lex Luthor very well. Since this is a third movie after the first movie, he had to know Lex would have kryptonite and use it on him, like in the first movie. The first movie, it was lead. He couldn't see through it. So, and that was better done. But in here, seeing him get stabbed, Lex Luthor stabbing him, like, really? I hated that. But the rest of the movie, some of it does have good humor. I like most of the cast. And some of it is entertaining. Like I said, I like the plane scene. I like the scene where Superman is, the guy with the machine gun. I like that. That was awesome. There were some epic, awesome moments in this movie. But overall, it's a lackluster film in my opinion. It's a time waster for a movie. It's just a time waster. It's bland, and some of it's boring and forgettable in my opinion. It's just not that good of a movie. It's not very memorable. I can see why they rebooted it though, honestly. Because the problem here is that you should have, Bryan Singer, you should have done your own Superman film. You shouldn't have tried to make a Richard Donner Superman film. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to make a sequel to Superman the movie, Superman 2. You want to forget about Superman 3 and 4, well, I like Superman 3, but if you want to get Superman 4, if you want to forget about Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, make a different type of Superman movie. No, think about it. Hell, I would have loved to see Tim Burton direct Superman. That probably would have been better done than this. We probably would have a bunch of Superman movies if that happened. Yeah, to be honest, I'd be for it. It's something different. That's why I like Man of Steel, because Man of Steel did something different. Do something different with the character. Nobody can be a happy chap all the time. Superman's not all happy chap in here. I mean, hell, half the time he seems like he just wants to avoid people. Or spend his time stalking Lois Lane. But to me, the film is just lackluster. It's forgettable. There's some things I like about it, but overall, just a failed attempt at a movie. But that's my opinion on Superman Returns. And if you disagree with me, guys, that's fine. Tell me in the comments down below. Do you love this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this film? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you agree with me that it's a failed attempt, or are you just plain out outright hate it? Now, I don't hate the movie. I just don't like it. And my rating for Superman Returns, my rating for this film is 2 out of 5 stars and a thumbs down. I still give it a thumbs down, yeah. I don't hate the film, y'all. It's just lackluster, not a good film. It's just a failed attempt. I know I repeat myself sometimes, sorry. But that's just my opinion on this film. It's just a failed attempt at a Superman movie. And that's why I think it fails. But that's just my opinion. And if you guys disagree with me, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of it? My rating for the film, once again, is 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah. But it's a movie, yeah, I'll watch again from time to time a little bit. Just a time waster for a film, in my opinion. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of Superman Returns? Do you like it or do you hate it? Okay, guys, for my next Superman film review, next will be, of course, the last live-action Superman film to date. Literally, we haven't had a live-action Superman film in a while, which I heard J.J. Abrams was going to be working on. I've heard, but I don't know. But I know some people hate this movie. People are mixed on this movie too. I've always liked it. Always enjoyed this film. But anyway, my next review, hopefully tomorrow, I'll be reviewing Man of Steel. So this will be the last one for my reviews for the live action Superman films. So yeah, definitely look forward, guys, to my next review of Man of Steel. And thank you for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of Superman Returns in your opinion. And I hope you look forward to my next review, which is Man of Steel. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.